Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Preserve Industries Association, I welcome you all to this awareness program on relaxation and incentives under the new Provident Fund policy. Social Security benefits under EPF and its compliances are an important topic for all industrialists. We are happy to have with us Regional Provident Fund Commissioner, Nagpur, Mr. Animeshji Mishra, who has kindly agreed to address this August gathering of industry professionals to share with us about the employees enrollment campaign and the related relaxations and incentives that the new PF policy has recently announced. Animeshji will also explain to us the details of the benefits available under the Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Protsahan Yojana and the Pradhan Mantri Paridhan Rozgar Protsahan Yojana. So let us start with welcoming our distinguished speaker for the day. May I request Secretary VIA, Shri Suhasji Bude, to welcome Shri Animeshji Mishra with a floral bouquet. Thank you, sir. I now request Shri Suhasji Bude to kindly give us his opening remarks.
Thank you, Aditya. Thank you, Mishra sir, and I'm really thankful to Mishra sir because whenever last we met Mishra ji, then he promised that he is going to come to Ria and get all the members. Friends, this government is committed to ease of doing business, and the new amendment in the PF law is also a direction towards that. I'm not going to talk much about it because sir is there to explain you about the scheme. But I can definitely tell you that the government is doing a lot of things for the business. And we must think positively that how we can contribute to those initiatives by government, because unless until we really help government to ease out that, nothing going to happen. And I can tell you the new initiatives by the government are going to be there, and we have a help desk also. I will request Mishra sir also to take help of our help desk here, for which we talk to our members, and whatever issues we have of members can be really taken up from our help desk. So I request you also send your queries to our help desk so that we can take it to commission. With this, I'll not take much time and I'll hand it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Suhasji. I now take the privilege of introducing our speaker. Mr. Mishra completed his BTech in Computer Science from REC Warangal in 1992, and he followed it up with an MTech with specialization in Geographic Information Systems from Indian School of Mines, Dhanbad in 1995. Thereafter, he prepared for the Civil Services exam and was selected through UPSC as the Assistant Provident Fund Commissioner in September 97. Mishra ji started at HO in New Delhi for a couple of months, and then thereafter he has been posted to various cities like Ahmedabad, Behrampur, Chandigarh, Rourkela, and Nagpur, summing up to an exemplary 20 years plus of exemplary services to the government. He likes to listen to ghazals, instrumental music, and Hindi songs, and his other hobbies are doing scientific experiments and educating kids. May I now request Shri Animeshji Mishra to take over the proceedings for today. Sir, please.
Not exactly, but
it's there, sir. You can.
I was more interested in doing the talk that I hear, and this boy could have helped me in shifting the.
You can take it from here also, so no problem at all.
You can do that.
Namaskar to all of you, my dear friends from the industry. Most of you must be representing some establishment as such. We call whether it is a factory or a non-factory establishment. So I am here with a very limited purpose, and that is the employees enrollment campaign that the Government of India has launched. Before I go into what an employees enrollment campaign is, I would just like to recall, most of you must be knowing, and especially those in accounts or HR, they must be aware of the rates of contribution and the amounts that are payable by the employer and the employee. The employer has to make a contribution of 12%, a part of which goes to pension, 8.33%, and a part 3.67 goes to the provident fund of the member. The member contributes 12%. The employer also makes contribution of 0.5% to the EDLI scheme, that is the insurance scheme, and he is also made to pay administrative charges of 0.85% for the provident fund, running the administering the provident fund scheme, and 0.85% for the for administering the provident fund scheme, and 0.01% for running the insurance scheme. Now this is the normal course of things. The government has launched this employees enrollment campaign, wherein this was decided on in a CBT meeting that was held at Bangalore on November 19th, and 30th December we had this notification whereby the government has brought out certain amendments in the provident in the three schemes and also in the Act. It says that any employee who was required to be enrolled as a member, who was entitled to be enrolled as a member but was not enrolled for whatever reason, the employer can today come forward and file declaration on behalf of such employees in respect of those employees. Now, what is it, and why should an employer come forward to file such a declaration? There are certain incentives, benefits to the employer, which I would say you should have a look at. The employee share is not deducted, that is the 12% of the employee contribution. If it has not been deducted, then it stands waived. The employer need not pay it today. The employer share, yes, he has to pay because it is his payment, whether it was earlier or it is now. It is the employer share, a part of which goes to the pension fund. So for the employees, his benefit, his entitlement, his I should say, rights are protected. He gets pension membership because of that 8.33%, and that is paid by the employer. He also gets a small amount, which earlier also he would have got 3.67% in his provident fund. The employer for his part does not have to pay the employee share if he has not deducted that. He is also not required to pay any penalty or damages, because as of today, if he comes forward and say he files a declaration that I had 7 employees or 33 employees who are there with me for the last 1 year. So a normal course would be, if we get to find such a thing, we initiate an inquiry under section 7. In normal course, after 7A is completed, the employer has to pay both the shares, the employee share and the employer share, whether he deducted or he did not deduct. He is also made to pay the penalty, the damages under section 14B, and the higher the delay, the greater the number of days, the months delayed, the greater is the penalty. So that penalty as such is waived. It's hardly 1 rupee